Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today I have another black emboss resist technique to show you. This is a little different than the one I showed you last time. I think you're going to absolutely love it. We are going to be stamping with colors and then embossing and then making the background white. It's a pretty cool technique. And I think you're really going to like it. Let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is show the cardstock dimensions. I have a piece of Berry Burst cardstock here that's 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder to give it a good crisp crease. That's hard to say fast. I've got a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 5 1/4. I've also got a piece of Basic Black that is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And then I used my layering oval dies to cut out a Berry Burst scallop oval and a Whisper White oval. I'm using just a touch of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper on my card today. And this is such gorgeous black and white paper. You've seen me use this a bunch of times, but this is the one. I just cut a little sliver off of it. I hope this paper is still available when this video airs because I am kind of trying to work ahead a little bit. But you guys, if you don't have this in your stamping library to utilize, you really should consider getting it with your next order. It is amazing. And then I've also got one of our white doilies. These are great little accents on cards. And I took my doily and I cut it down. So I've cut it about 1/3 off the bottom of it. And that's just the little piece that I'm going to use. Okay, I think what we're going to do first is decorate up the inside of our card just a touch. I am going to use the Tranquil Tulips stamp set. This is one of our gorgeous Hostess exclusive stamp sets. You can get this when you have a party and your sales reach $150, or if you need to stock up on supplies, you can place an order that's over $150 and get this. It's really inexpensive, like maybe $10, maybe less. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but it is also retiring. It's guaranteed to you until May 25th, but then it's going to retire. So our new catalog that comes out on June 1st will not have the stamp set in it. And it is one of my favorites because I love the two-step stamping process and the watercolor look. Okay, I am going to show you how cool this is. I'm just going to stamp, I think I'll do a Peekaboo Peach tulip on the inside of my card. And I was thinking that I was going to ink this up, stamp it off once, and make this my lighter background, and then ink up the more detailed stamp and stamp it. But you don't even have to do that. Watch this. There's our pretty little watercolored image. And then I'm going to use full strength and stamp right over the top of it. Look at that. Isn't that delicious? It's delicious. I love, love, love this stamp set. Here's those little dotty things on the inside. I don't remember what they're called, but I like them. Okay, and then I'm using Peekaboo Peach, now Pear Pizzazz. Ooh, and I see I do not have the stem. I was doing a whole bunch of things with the stamp set today, so, oh, where'd my stem go? It's not here. Holy cow. Well, we're just going to have to use this other stem. Hopefully I'll find it. Darn it. I know I took it off to use a different stamp on the block, and it's probably stuck to something. That's probably what happened to it. We are not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to keep going with our video. So I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to have to be really careful and just ink up one of these stems. I'm so sorry that this is going to be kind of a little trickier, but you know, things happen, right? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got these pretty little leaves, and I'm just going to come in and do that right on the side. So this is actually just going to be the inside of our card. And since we're done with it already, let's put it in place. Now, you know where my mind is going, right? Oh my gosh, what happened to that stamp? And I'm trying to think of all the things that I had out here. So, big lesson, do not set your stamps down unless they're attached to blocks. Yeah, I should follow my own rules sometimes. Okay, then we've got all these other little pieces, and I am going to emboss this piece in our leaves embossing folder. This is one of those dynamic textured embossing folders that are super thick that give you that real 3D look. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot, and I will be right back. And here we go. And isn't that pretty? Yeah, I would have never thought to use leaves on black, but this really worked for me. Okay, now we're going to do our technique. So I'm just going to set all these little elements aside, and we're going to stamp our tulips. And I'm just going to start with the orange. Again, I like to do the bigger one first, but it really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you're comfortable with. So I've got the bigger tulip, or the background, and then the foreground. And I'm going to need to clean these because we're going to do several different colors here. And then I'm going to bring in my Berry Burst. And I'm going to stamp that. Delicious, right? Look at those. Aren't those just so pretty? I love these. Cleaning stamps again. I want to make sure I get all the ink off of here because now we're going to go into crushed curry. And I don't want pink in my crushed curry. So I've got Peekaboo Peach, Berry Burst, and crushed curry. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Okay, then I'm going to work with this triple stem. That won't, oh, it almost works for this, but not quite. If you're going to use this, I could have used this triple stem if I would have stamped the stem first, then I would know where it needs to go. But instead, I'm just going to keep using this one on the outside. And so if you lose yours, it's doable. Just make sure you don't get ink on the one next to it because we don't want to mess up what we've done here. There we go. That'll work just fine. And then I'm just going to come in with a couple leaves here. There's one. And here comes another one. Now this is pretty, just like this, right? But we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to do the black embossing technique on it. Black Embossed Resist, it's called. And I'm going to clean off all my stamps because now we're going to use them, in Versamark. And hang on, we've got to do those little black things in the middle of the flower that I can't remember what they're called. Is it called the, I don't know, I'm not even going to say it. You guys will know what they are, right? That just adds to the charm of our flower. Now, to do this resist technique, we need a Versamark ink pad. And you're only going to use the bigger of the two tulips. You only need this big outline one. Oh, before we do that, hang tight. Get out your embossing buddy. Since we're doing emboss resist, we don't want our embossing powder to stick to anything other than what we're going to stamp on here with the Versamark. So use that embossing buddy. And I'm just going to stamp right over top of my colored tulips with Versamark ink. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to do the resist technique. And again, same with the leaves. You're going to stamp right over top of the leaves with Versamark. Oh, that's a little bit further than I needed it to be. And here's our stem. We're going to do our stems. There we go. Now we're going to bring in our clear embossing powder, and it's hopefully only going to stick to the images that we stamped. We'll see. I always like to blow it off a little bit too. Just give it a couple big puffs of air. And heat set. Time to heat set. Okay, now we are going to do something crazy to this. Now you could leave this as it is and have an absolutely beautiful card, but the whole point of me showing this to you is to show you how the black emboss resist technique works. So I'm just going to grab my tissue. You can tell I've been using black ink all day. And I am going to take my ink pad and I am just going to rub it over my tulips. And you're going, oh my gosh, don't do it. But look at how stunning those are when you rub the ink off of the embossing areas. And again, I'm just getting this in here really good. And isn't that pretty? Now, I see that I've got some little specks of embossing powder. Bring in a Sharpie marker and just touch them up, because a Sharpie will cover any little spot. And hopefully, if you use your embossing buddy, you won't have too much of this going on with your pretty design. All right, are you ready to see the rest of the card? Let's get this put together because it is truly beautiful. This would be another great technique to use with the Stamparatus that's coming out June 1st. Hang on, I think I've got an empty glue bottle here. There we go, that's much better. I'm going to add this to my Berry Burst scalloped layer. And then I've got this little black piece that I'm going to add right down here. And I think I'm going to add this with a little bit of glue. Put that right on here. I don't want too much of my doily sticking out. It's supposed to just be kind of a cute little embellishment. And then we're going to put that right on this layer. Let's get this on our card. It's going to go right in the middle. And then we can add this. I'm just going to put some glue on this strip of Designer Series paper. And it goes right over the edges a little bit. I actually found this layout on Pinterest. And I can't remember, somebody named Anne had this layout on there. So that's where I found my layout. I just thought it was such a cool layout. Hang on, I've got dimensionals sticking to me. I'm kind of a mess today. Really, I've really gotten my hands dirty. And believe me, I did wash them before this video. But, you know, stamping is messy business sometimes. You can't be afraid to get your fingers dirty. Here we go. And how pretty and stunning is that? What do you guys think? I absolutely love it. Here's that inside. I can write anything in there I want. This is just an all occasion card. It's a great way to be able to use your regular dye-based ink pads with embossing powder by stamping over top of your colors with the Versamark ink pad. So if you don't have a Versamark ink pad, you can hop right on over to my blog. You'll find a link right up here in the top corner. There's an online ordering button in the right-hand side. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. Also, don't forget to use the host code that's in the right-hand column on my blog at www.astampabove.com. You have special perks from me when you use that host code. Thanks you guys again for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.